people with us. That's fantastic. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our training workshop. I'll go ahead and get things kicked off. Just a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, my name is Kelly. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Leap. Thanks, everyone, for taking time out of your day to join us. We really appreciate having you here. And we've got some great content that we're going to dig into here in just a minute. Before we do that, though, let's just cover a couple of quick housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded today, and you'll receive a link to this via email after we wrap up this afternoon. So keep an eye on your inbox for that. And I also wanted to point out on your GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side, there is a questions drop-down box there. Feel free to enter any questions you have throughout the presentation into that box, and we will be happy to address those. We'll have a dedicated time for Q&A, or we might just answer them right during the presentation. So feel free to utilize that. And if you want to go ahead and drop in a quick hello and say where you're calling in from, always nice to hear where everybody is at. I'm joining you guys from Maryland today. We've actually got some great chilly spring weather out. It's pretty nice. All right. All right, so once we finish up with a couple of housekeeping items, I'll go through some introductions to our team today, and then we'll kick off into some information on taking your sales process virtual and how Leap can help you guys out with that. So before we jump into that, I have a quick poll for everyone. Just want to understand who on the call is actually already using Leap. I'm going to go ahead and launch that now. So you'll see a box pop up on your screen. If you take a quick second and just check off one of those boxes, that would be fantastic. I'll leave that up for just a second. Looks like we've got a little over half people responded. All perfect. All right, last chance, get your votes in. All right. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for your responses there. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce our speakers for the day. Actually, sorry. Let me go ahead and introduce Leap. For those of you who are not familiar, it looks like we're about split on the people who are on the call already utilizing Leap. If you're not familiar, Leap is a digital point of sale software servicing the home services industry. So everything from estimating to financing and contracting has some great applications for real-time communication. So helps with that communication process between your sales team and your actual people on site doing the jobs. Does a really excellent job with helping to eliminate errors and making sure your sales team is all on the same page with what information they're presenting in the field to your customers. And it's a really great time-saving application to help increase the efficiency of your sales team, and is a fantastic tool in today's climate for helping to take your process digital and help solve for some of the challenges we're facing with the elimination of some of the in-home sales applications now. So now we'll go ahead and jump right into our team here today. We've got Nick Miller, who's joining us from, he's one of our sales process consultants here at Leap. He's been involved in all sides of the home remodeling industry, from installer to sales rep, and now he's helping contractors to improve their sales process, both in the home and digitally. And we also have Veronica with us today. Veronica is one of our all-star customer relations coordinators here at Leap. She's an expert on getting our customers up and running with the platform, and she'll be joining us a little bit later on to walk us through some of the back-end functionality today. She's also a really, really talented artist, which is just a little fun fact for her. All right, so I'll go ahead and turn this over to Nick. Nick, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm going to go ahead and just look at a couple of things. The slide that we have up here is, are you asking these questions, right? So, how do you set parameters for your salespeople? How are you ultimately taking control of what they're doing? Is there an easy way to make estimate mistakes? corrections? How do you prevent any inventory mistakes just in general? And how do you scale and increase revenue? And a lot of those, just there's three bullet points are what we're going to really highlight for in Leap here as we go in and continue to go through the process. Through a couple of slides that we're going to really focus on going digital, as well as just going through a little bit of a demo and how all of these can go ahead and impact your business as a whole.
Great. I'm sharing your screen over now, Nick.
Cool. And we should be able to go right into this. So let's talk about how we can set up for a successful digital sales platform, right? Yes, it's a process, but what we really want to focus on is, the platform that's going to get us to that point. So really the one big challenge is there already is a new normal. You guys, listening to this, we're in a time where we're really exploring virtual sales, right? So customers are less likely to have you in their home. They want a lot of this to be done, speaking as millennial, I want this digital. I want this, I don't want the paper. The other thing is, how I'm paying for this job, right? I don't even have, honestly, a checkbook, or if I could even find one, I don't know where it is. Everything is now done really through like a credit card or a debit card that we're just trying to process through. And really the last one is, in the digital age in 2020, one thing that's really a key difference is companies of 10 years ago, they had the money to spend on having a nice digital platform. Today, it's easy, right? Anybody from, an owner operator all the way up to some of these mega companies can all have the same iPad and have very similar presentations in the home. So that's exactly what we're looking for here at Leap, to check all of those boxes, to have those in-home presentations or the virtual presentations, again, that we're going to talk about. Offer the different promotional discounts, knowing that our prices are guaranteed and that we have good feedback, and of course, digital contracts, and making sure that all of that is clean and organized. Some of the challenges, though, that we have are, the homeowners we're in the get it now mentality in society. I don't want you to come and spend 3, 4, 5 hours in my house. I'm looking for that price right now. And quite frankly, as a business, we don't really have the time to go back to the office to draw up an estimate to then come back, because by that point, you've already had 3 other estimates that have walked in after you. And it must be consistent. We don't want to confuse sales reps. We want everything to be very consistent as we move through this. So the solution is giving your customers the ability to have that price right then and there, right? It doesn't really matter the scope of the job. When we have this, we have software that allows us to have the checks and balances and give a homeowner an accurate price right then and there in the home. And as a business, controlling your margins so that we don't have any discount slip-ups, or I didn't give away the farm, so to speak, on this job, because everything is locked in and controlled. So the price guide, again, is the backbone of your business. You have sales reps, you have all of your pricing in place, so let's stick to that. Let's give your sales reps an easy way to manage through your pricing so that we can have all the pricing delivered to that homeowner seamlessly and quickly, while protecting all of your margins and all of your, secret sauce, if you will, on your own pricing. We also look at the side of sales on how we can get paid through this. As I had mentioned, today is the digital age of financing or credit cards, not so much of the day of handing cash or paper checks. So we're really looking at leveraging financing, right? Who are the right finance partners? What are the right plans for your market or for your sales reps? So a lot of that is how we can look at this and even put them into place. So if I have a great, strong player as a financial partner, well, we also have homeowners that might not have the best credit score. So we need to give our sales reps and give us the ability to really look at a wide variety of finance options and even different payment options as well. Even if we take a credit card, we can now run that credit card that's been securely captured every month and set up a payment plan for that homeowner, right? One of the things I always used to say when I was in the house is, great, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowners, let's get those airline points. Let's take your credit card and let's get those points so that we can go on our next vacation, all while you're paying for your roof. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually take you through how I would virtually sell an appointment, right? Just like we're doing right now, go to webinar, or if we were to use Zoom or any of those platforms, this is exactly how I would go through and give that to a homeowner. So the first step is you notice that I already have my estimate built out. I already have my customer information has been pulled in from one of our partnered CRMs. I have all of my different measure sheets. So I'm just going to stick something very simple, right? Roofing. I have the ability to use external measurement reports. We are partnered with both Hover and EagleView, and they're both great tools that are going to give me and populate all of the measurements that I need for roofing, windows, siding, really anything on the exterior. The other thing with those reports and inside of Leap is I have the ability now to virtually show them A, their home, and B, all of the measurements that are coming with it. So I'm not being tricky. I'm not showing, I don't have any cards up my sleeve. I'm giving them my hand. I'm showing them everything that they have. The one thing that I like about Hover as well in a particular model like this is they have that 3D model. They can walk you through what the changes would be to your house. And if it's something that you're unfamiliar with, definitely set up a demo with us. We'd love to walk you through exactly what that looks like and how you can leverage that 3D model for a virtual sale. The other thing that we can look at is financing. So even though we're virtual, I can go through my finance options here, and I can just simply go ahead and say, great, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, which one fits your budget? I know that we're in tough times, or I know that, we have some bumps and bruises on our credit. Which one of these fits your monthly the best? The other thing that we highlighted on was your margins. As a business, you can show and be transparent with your sales reps at this very bottom here. What is the floor cost? What is the minimum of this job? You as a business have control of locking that in and making it as super airtight as possible. We also want to go ahead and show them exactly what we're talking about. So let's create a very clean visualization for that homeowner, a good, better, and best, or different packages, highlighting different manufacturers. Again, this all takes about 5 minutes to get together, and I can even now email this to that homeowner. Sticking with the theme of being digital, I was handed a piece of paper the other day as a receipt, and I didn't know what to do with it. Today, everybody looks at their email, and they just simply search the company's name, and they have everything that they need right there in their email address. But again, one of the most important things that we want to highlight is contracting themselves. Yes, I can go through, I can have beautiful images and contracts, but I want to focus on capturing my payment information right there in the home. So whether I'm doing this virtually through Zoom or I'm at the home, I can literally go through and capture that homeowner's credit card and make it as secure as possible so that they never have to worry about, well, where is my credit card information going when I call this in? You're going to notice that it's secure and it's going to be locked in right here on the contract. And in a minute, Veronica is going to show you exactly what that looks like on the back end. For those of the customers that we do have, how does this get set up? And for those that aren't customers, well, what does this look like maybe for my business? How is it that I can leverage this technology moving forward? But again, at the end of all of this, I have a contract. So whether I'm in the home and we're going to sit there and we're going to sign it physically with our hand or with a stylus, I also have the ability to put this for DocuSign. So I can go and I can mark out everything that I need via DocuSign. We're going to go through, great, I'm the sales rep, we're going to get my signatures. But great, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, everything that we're going to do, you're going to get a copy of right here in the next 5 to 10 minutes via DocuSign. So I'm walking them through everything that we had talked about. The big key about this is transparency, right? The reason that we go to the home, we show them the materials is because as a strong business, you want that transparency for the homeowner. You want them to feel that they can trust you. You might not be the cheapest person in town, and this is exactly why we're leveraging technology and using things like DocuSign or Leap in general to just show the homeowner we have our prices, we have everything that is accurate, and when I hit send, you're now going to get a copy of everything that we had talked about. So again, we went very high level at this point. I am going to pass this over to Veronica. She's going to walk you through the back end on what the payment capture looks like, and how to set all that up with our integrations through DocuSign and even through your admin, and how they can request payment and get that all at a later date. So Veronica, I'm just going to shoot this on over to you now.
Awesome. Thanks so much. All right. Perfect. So hopefully you guys can see my screen now. I am in the back end of Leap, and I'm going to give a quick tutorial on exactly how to set up DocuSign and secured payment capture on the back end. So this should be pretty quick and easy because our integrations are pretty quick and easy. So when I'm logged in here, I can go into my integrations menu, and let's get started with DocuSign. Now, when you first come into this section, this enabled switch is going to be off. You'll just need to switch this on. You'll enter in your DocuSign username and your password. And then in here, we also have the subject line of those emails that get sent out for DocuSign. So you'll put in your subject line here, and then we'll also need to give it a file name. So I'm just going to go ahead and put an example in here. And we can even use some placeholders to bring over the customer's name into the name field of that document. Now, in this section, you'll also need to enter in a carbon copy recipient. This is going to be anyone at the office who needs to receive a copy of that DocuSign email as well. You'll put in their name and email address here. And then we'll also have our failure recipients. So this should be whoever needs to receive the backup copy of the email if for whatever reason that email fails to send. Now, down at the very bottom, we have our checkbox. You'll need to acknowledge our terms and conditions. But once you check that off, you'll then have the ability to hit this save button here at the top. And then on the iPad, you can click that DocuSign button and send out those contracts for signature digitally over email. So that's pretty much it for DocuSign. That took, what, like a minute? Okay, so now we can talk about the secured payment capture setup. That's again underneath our integrations menu here. I can click over to payment capture. Up here at the top, we'll have your gateway. So you'll come in here and you're going to select your payment processor. And whoever you select, there might be a username and password to fill out, or maybe a company ID. You'll just enter in whatever information prompts up. And then you'll check off this box to acknowledge our terms and conditions. Now on this page, the rest of this is those emails that get sent out as well. So you can change your from field here so that the emails look like it's coming from your office. You can put in a subject line for the emails. Then on here we have which payment types you allow. So we have the credit card and the e-checks. That's going to be determined by who exactly you're using as your payment processor. So you might be able to offer both or just credit cards. It's really dependent on your processor. We also have a success redirect URL. So in here, if you have a web page with like a thank you message, thank you for your payment, you can pop that into the URL here, and they can see that web page telling them, oh, thank you for your payment. If you don't put anything in here, they'll be sent to a more generic thank you page. And of course, down in this bottom section, this is where you can determine exactly what those emails are going to look like. It's based in HTML. So if you have like a website guy that like makes beautiful websites, you can always have them pretty up these emails for you. All right, once all that's filled out, you'll hit the save button. And then you'll be able to access the secured payment capture on the iPad, and you'll also be able to send payment requests on the back end here as well. Let me show you that. So if you have a customer, you can come into our estimate section. This is going to take just a moment to load up. There we go. So I can click on Nick's customer here, Jerry Johnson. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, I now have a button to send a payment request. So this is great if you're doing digital sales. You can hit this payment request button up here, and that's going to pop up this box where you can select credit card and put in the exact amount that you're requesting for payment, whether that's the deposit or the balance due. Enter in the recipient's email address. And also give them a nice message and a description of the transaction. Then once you hit the send payment request button, that's going to shoot that email off to them. They're going to be able to send their payment right from their email. All right, so yeah, that was super quick and easy. That's the essentials of setting up the DocuSign integration and the secured payment capture integration. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Veronica.
Sure.
All right. And if any of our attendees today have questions, feel free to shoot those into that question box there. We've got a couple coming through. First one, does Leap integrate with CRM?
Yeah, I can jump in here real quick on that. Sure. So we integrate with 5 different CRM platforms. Rattling them off really quick, it's Lead Perfection, Market Sharp, Salesforce, Improve It 360, and Job Nimbus. Again, looking at how we can, it talks from the CRM into Leap and then back again. It's definitely something that on a much longer call we can work into, showing you how those connect and exactly what documentation goes back and forth. Again, just set up that demo and we can definitely talk about what that looks like.
Fantastic. Let's see, just looking at the questions here. What does the onboarding process look like for Leap?
That's a great question. So during onboarding, we have this process where we'll start you off working on the price guide first. So we'll get in all of your products, all of the pricing. We'll be testing them out on the iPad so you can build those estimates. Once the price guide's finished, that's when we move on to contract training. We usually start with some templates, whether it's like a roofing contract template or a window template, and then I'll be showing you, or one of our other CRMs would show you how to modify it and how to make it automated. Once pricing and contracts are finished, that's when we do the application settings. So the integrations with your CRM, getting all of your financing information in there. Once pricing, contracts, app settings are all complete, then you should be ready to start selling using the iPad.
Fantastic. All right. I think we have another question here. Am I able to update the information for all of my salespeople from one dashboard?
Yes, Brock, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah. So you'll have one person at your company that has that super user access. They'll be using that back end of Leap that I was showing you earlier, and they'll be able to manage all of the sales reps directly from there.
Cool. Excellent. If you're selling in the home, does the Leap software need to be connected to the internet?
So I can jump in on that one really quick. The short answer is no. The benefit of Leap is even if you're in the middle of nowhere, you still want to be able to execute a contract, right? Well, the way that Leap will work is once you already have that appointment set, I can now go through start to finish, signing and sending a contract. But what it'll do is it's going to live in what we call a pending uploads folder until your iPad recognizes that it's connected either to an AT&T or a Verizon or back into the office with Wi-Fi, and then it's going to automatically push those documents out to where they need to go.
Cool. Perfect. All right. All right. that looks like all the questions we have in our chat window for right now. And looks like we're coming up on 11:30. So I think that's all we've got for today. If anyone on the call thinks of any additional questions or you want to get more information on upgrading your sales process using Leap, please feel free to email us, marketing@leaptodigital.com. And as you leave the webinar today, you'll see a short survey pop up. We'd love to get your feedback on today's presentation and hear about any topics you'd be interested in hearing about for future webinars. And again, if we didn't get to your question or you've got any additional thoughts that pop up, feel free to give us a shout and we'll follow up with you after the webinar. All right. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your afternoon.